Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we got a video that I have not done in a long time. We're going to do an unbagging video of the Monster Jam Minis line Series 3. These are little plastic monster trucks in their blind bags. Now, I believe these are all different trucks, because from what I've learned from some other people is that these last two numbers right there, you see this one's 34 and like this one's 28. Supposedly those are supposed to mark different numbers, so I actually grabbed 12 different numbers, so this should be the full set. But I really don't know which numbers, which truck or whatever, but I at least tried to find different numbers, so we didn't just end up with 12 of the same truck. But take a look at the packaging. You see you have Monster Jam Minis, 12 to collect, Series 3, one Monster Jam Mini. These are made by Spinmaster. NASCAR fans should remember them back from the original NASCAR Authentic line. You see you got pictures of all 12 trucks on the back. Why don't we just hop right into it and get going? We'll open the first one, like so this is number 34. And then here we have a little Maximum Destruction. Regular body, has a bright neon orange chassis. See, these are just little tiny plastic diecast. Well, they're not diecast, they're just plastic toys. There's no diecast metal on these at all. Oh yeah, there's some metal there for the screw, but that's the only metal. Well, actually, wait, there is a little bit of metal on these, actually. A little bit in the center part of the base there is metal, so I was not incorrect. These do have a little die cast on them. So these are pretty detailed for how tiny they are. I'm going to do a size comparison with some stuff later, but you see it is printed pretty nicely. It has the Max D, the 11-time champion, even has the printing on the face and all that. That is really cool. These retail for about $2.50 a piece. Said they're in little boxes with the blind bags. I only find them at Walmart. I don't know if they're Walmart exclusives or not, but I believe they are because I've only ever seen them at Walmart's. So that's pretty cool. Why don't we get to the next one? This one is number 28. And of course, that one did not tear correctly, so I have to cut it open. And in this one, we have a Soldier Fortune Black Ops. This one has a gray chassis with just solid black wheels. Does have the windshield painted in gray on this one. You see, as tiny as that is, it is very clear printing. I do have to give Spinmaster credit. That's pretty nice for such a tiny little piece of diecast. Does have the American flag on it too. Very nice. Next up, we've got number 33. This one is the orange Gravedigger from one of the World Finals in the past. What was that, like World Finals like 2017 or 18 or something? Just a Gravedigger with the orange chassis as well as the orange flames. See, they even did print the little tiny red headlights. That's really cool. Even the molds are pretty nice. Like, they're as accurate as they can make them for such a tiny mold. Like, you know, the Maximum Destruction even had the spikes, and this one has even everything that basically the Gravedigger has. It is solid in the back instead of clear like the real truck, but the 164s are, you know, empty or open, so that's nice. Worth pointing out there's a little Monster Jam logo on the chassis, too. Very, very nice. Next up, we've got 32. And this one is, I guess, what is supposed to be the chase piece of the line. We have a little golden El Toro Loco. The whole thing is cast in kind of like a pearl, shiny, metallic type plastic. I do like the bronze painted horns. That's pretty cool. But as far as I'm aware, that there's like a few of these are sort of chase pieces. There's a few of these in the line, like the, I believe things like the Whiteout Gravedigger is a chase piece. And then, I don't know, maybe that Silver Dragon, I think, is a chase piece, but I think this gold one is like the true like super chase piece, like the one that's not in every case. There's only one to a case if it's in there, where I think the other ones are one to every case, but there's only one of them, so that's why they're also kind of rare. But so that's cool that I was actually able to find a chase piece. Well, like I said, I was able to dig through all, like, there was 2 cases at this Walmart. I dug through all of them, like I said, until I got 12 numbers. So I guess that's correct. We're going good so far. We have 4 different ones so far with these different numbers, so I'm going to assume that is correct. So, you know, look out for that number if you want the chase piece. Next up, we have number 38. This one we have the Bakugan Dragonoid, which is, of course, Spinmaster's own monster truck. Much like, you know, back when Hot Wheels made the diecast, they had their own Hot Wheels monster trucks. So I guess when Spinmaster took it over, they of course had to make their own. So they own that Bakugan toy line, and they made a monster truck based around that. Pretty cool. Like I said, again, very detailed for being so tiny. Like you see, it has all the black lines, has the claws painted, has the name, even has the eye, has the teeth, the stripes on the wing, has the Bakugan logo on the roof. One of Dennis Anderson's kids, I think it was Ryan, actually raced this truck last year or this year. So if you're into, you know, the Andersons, you're definitely going to want to get this one. All of these trucks pretty much do have 164 versions. I mean, I don't know if there's a solid gold 164 of El Toro Loco, but at least the overall bodies and trucks all have 164 scales. This one's number 39. We got a little Blue Thunder with a bright blue chassis and bright white tires. You know, I used to love Blue Thunder, but it really just isn't as fun anymore. I'm surprised they've still kept this truck around. Like, back in the day, it was the Built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. It was a fancy Ford body, had Ford logos. It was like a metallic blue. Looked so much cooler. And now they just, I guess, Ford stopped sponsoring it. I wonder if is it even still a Ford body? Or have they just gone generic with it by now? But it's just, Blue Thunder's not as fun as it used to be. I used to really like Blue Thunder back in the day, but now it's just kind of a generic blue truck with a Blue Thunder logo on the side with some lightning. But not a bad truck still for this line. Next up, we've got 35. This one we got a little Megalodon. Definitely one of the cooler trucks in this day and age of Monster Jam. A nice little shark body. It's funny to see this one so crumpled into. It's like it's so like stumpy. Looks pretty funny. You see it has the teeth painted, has like the red gum line on the teeth painted. I said I'm very impressed with how detailed these are for being so tiny. Would have expected to be a little bit more fuzzy decals or something, but they're honestly very clear. This one's got a gray chassis with solid black wheels. Next up, we've got number 31. This one we got the black El Toro Loco. Remember, there's a bunch of different El Toro Locos nowadays. You have the regular red one, you got a yellow one, there's a black one. This one definitely was one of my more favorite ones back in the day. I don't think they even run any of these versions anymore. I think they only use the red one anymore. Or maybe some like the other, like the Fire and Ice or the Galaxy or whatever. But pretty cool. Has the bright red horns as well as the flames on the side. This one's got a gray chassis and black wheels. Very nice. Next up, we've got 36. Which is, I believe this is another one of the chase pieces of sorts. The Megalodon, but it has the, you know, translucent blue tires and everything. And the body is actually clear. It's like an X-ray body back from the old Hot Wheels days. I don't know what Spinmaster calls them, but you see it as a translucent clear body. So that's really cool. But like I said, I believe that these ones are also just one to every case, but there is only one of them in the case. Whereas the gold one I don't think is in every case. It might still be in every case, but I don't know. But you can definitely look for some of these chase pieces just by the number if you really want to look for that. That is definitely really cool looking with the translucent pieces. Next up, we've got 29, which is that, I think, a chase piece Gravedigger. These ones are kind of like a, you know, black and white, like almost sketched outline. I believe there's a 164 line of these. I forget exactly what they call the 164 line, but I think they are making a 164 Gravedigger like this. I will definitely be picking that up because it is definitely a really cool look, which is kind of the white blackout look. Like I said, I believe that these like special line ones are all technically, if chase pieces are only one to a case. I think on the box it even has like those 3 or 4 of them, and it has like rare under them because it's trying to point out that these are kind of chase pieces. But that is definitely a really cool little toy. Next up, we've got 37. Which is a monster Mutt with bright neon red wheels for some reason. Has a brown chassis. See, again, very well detailed. Has the eyebrows, has the little tongue, all the teeth are painted, the collar is all painted with all the studs, the tail, the collar, everything. Definitely could do without the bright red wheels, though. But I'm sure there was probably, I don't know, was it the first time they've released this monster Mutt? I never actually bought any of the first 2 series of these. I was only ever getting some of the 164s you can see in the background starting to be revealed. And last but not least, we have number 30. And this one is that other, I know this one's definitely a chase piece. It is the silver version of Dragon to go with the gold truck. A solid metallic silver with actually metallic silver paint on the horns. So that's pretty cool. But now let's get these trucks all in here. Now you can really see a nice comparison to see how tiny these are compared to the regular monster trucks. So we get these all in there. Definitely a cool little line of trucks. Like I said, they are very detailed. I'm surprised how detailed these are for being so tiny. So this is the Series 3, so I guess these have sold well enough to warrant 3 series. I'm sure there's going to be a Series 4 in the next few months. Here's for another size comparison. Spinmaster also has these like 170 scale like plastic trucks that you can get at like dollar stores and such. So you can see how those compare too. Like I said, you got some regular 164s in the back here. Which I'm sure some NASCAR fans are going to be into lately, just because, you know, the Kevin Harvick Gravedigger car. So if anyone wants some Gravediggers to go with it, there are 124s if you want that to go with the 124. So as we know right now, there's not going to be a 164 of the Harvick, which in my mind is a huge mistake. Like, I understand Spinmaster doesn't want like the competition, or they're like the exclusive 164 scale diecast for Monster Jam, but like, come on, guys. Anyone who, if it's an Authentics, anybody who grabs the Harvick Gravedigger off the pegs of the Authentics is going to immediately go down a few times in the aisle and find the Monstrucks and buy a 164 scale Gravedigger to go with it. I don't know anyone who's going to buy the Harvick car and not want to get a Gravedigger to go with it. So it's like, why in the world wouldn't you like work off that? Or even just like work together and have like a double pack with like a 164 scale Monstruck and then the 164 scale Harvick car. Like, Lionel bought NASCAR Authentics off of Spinmaster, so they've had dealings in the past. It's like, it's so weird to me that they're being so weird about it, because this would, it would help both of them. It would sell the Spinmaster Gravediggers too. Which I really want to just point out, again, unrelated to the video, but man, Spinmaster is so much better than Hot Wheels. I used to collect all the Hot Wheels Monstrucks as a kid. Like, I used to love playing with those. So when I heard a few years ago, it was like 2018 or 19, when they said that Hot Wheels was losing the license and Spinmaster was getting it, I was like, I'm not sure how that's going to go. I wonder if Spinmaster will be good at it. And Spinmaster is really good at it. All of their molds are like way better than anything Hot Wheels ever made. And as you see some of these in the background, they've actually made different molds for different versions of trucks. Like, they made a Gravedigger ride truck. Hot Wheels never made the ride truck, and this is just amazing that we can actually get the Gravedigger ride truck in diecast form. And they actually, for some of these older trucks, they actually did use older tires as opposed to the brand new BKT tires. Some of these tires that wouldn't be BKT tires, they actually made an old version of the wheels. It's got an old chassis too. It doesn't have the regular chassis. Like for the old Grandma Gravedigger, the original Gravedigger, well, not the original, but the original version of the paint scheme, they actually made a mold for the old Ford panel van. Anytime Hot Wheels made like the blue and silver truck or anything, they would just use the regular Gravedigger body and paint it silver and blue. But like Spinmaster actually, do I have one of those around? Yeah, here's one. Like Spinmaster for the blue and silver one, they used this Ford panel van mold. Hot Wheels never did that. Like, I mean, sure, this was Maximum Destruction over here. They actually did use a front engine chassis. They made a specifically special chassis for Maximum Destruction to have the front engine. Like, it seems like whoever's behind these cars or these trucks at Spinmaster actually cares and is, like, really serious about making these as accurate as he can. Because that is just really cool. Like, they've made so many different trucks that Hot Wheels never made. Like, here's a training truck. They made a Gravedigger training truck. That's really cool. We never got a mold like that. Like, here they made the kind of old school, like 90s Gravedigger with the logo and kind of the fog and such. Like, just really cool stuff. They made a T-Mens on a correct body. Something Hot Wheels for some reason never did. They had that old inaccurate body that they made off concept art, and then even when they re-released it like 15 years later, T-Mens, they used that same body instead of the actual like accurate body here. I don't know, this is like, I've gone way off topic on this video, but I just love that Spinmaster has such an attention to detail. They even made like figures for the characters. Like they've made one of the actual trophy truck bodies. Here's Gunslinger, or just now Slinger. which this truck I definitely am glad to have, because if you don't know, Scott Hartsock, the driver of Gunslinger, tragically lost his life a few weeks ago. So this truck is definitely extra special now. Although I wish they would have never had to change it from Gunslinger to Slinger. Do I even have a Gunslinger anywhere around here? Oh yeah, there's a Gunslinger. Here's an old Hot Wheels monster truck that said it used to be called Gunslinger. It was always Gunslinger. I don't know why they had to get rid of the word gun. I don't think the word gun alone is bad. And this is, you know, it's a monster truck that's been around since like the 90s. So, whatever. But that was just worth pointing out. Like I said, I really do love everything Spinmaster's done with this line. I mean, it is at least nice that they actually did allow Lionel still produce the diecast in some form. But, he said, I don't know why they're being weird about the 164, because it would only help them in the same way. But, whatever. Let's get back to the actual topic this video is supposed to be on. That is the Monster Jam Minis. He said they are definitely really cool. I always kind of wanted to check these out, but just never really, you know, knew about them. Or I never really knew about the whole number trick. So didn't really want to just buy like 5 of these and end up with like 5 of a random truck I don't care about. But once I know that you could actually like specifically look for numbers, so you got different ones, I definitely want to go pick some of ththese up. But so if you want these, as far as I know, they're only available at Walmart for about $2.50 a piece. So, you know, use that number trick. As pretty much, if you want like detailed videos on anything for Monster Jam on YouTube, there's a guy called Monster Jam OCD, who is like the #1 Monster Jam diecast guy on YouTube. He reviews like every single wave. Spinmaster sends him the waves before they even come out. So he's definitely, you know, if you want anything Monster Jam diecast related on YouTube, that's who you got to look out. But I think it turns others to say, this has been a review of the Monster Jam Minis Series 3 from Spinmaster. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.